Hi there, welcome back. Scott from Wessex Blades. It's about to join me to one of my favourite stages of knife making, and that's the point where you've got the wood, possibly micarta, and you've left it overnight in something like Danish oil or boiled linseed. And you just get a look at the beauty of wood. So I've done 3 small Kellens, which are my very small skeletal sort of hiking, camping, pack knives, very strongly and heavily inspired by Kylie's hikers. If anybody was banging around the internet on YouTube about a decade ago, there were a few knife makers on there. One of the gurus, as it were, was a chap called Kylie Harris, and his knife brand company was CKC, and he did some really, how can I say, well designed ergonomically, well rationalized designs, and his steel choice and heat treats were, really considered about the actual use of the knife itself. There was a lot that went into it. One of his models, which did a lot of rounds around the world in terms of orders, were his CKC hikers and mini hikers, and this is this is bigger than they were, but this sort of gave me the plan to come up with this one as my Kellen. Very similar, but there was more to his with thumb ramps, which I can sort of approach in the future. Ooh, these are in oak, and they're, as I said, I called them bare bones. So there's no liner, steel, oak, brass pins, that's it. Very simple, and because it's oak, I don't do the stabilization. The resin, when it goes into a large grain like oak, you can see it sometimes, and it doesn't always look as attractive as if you do something that needs protecting, something that's maybe sported, gone ever so slightly punky. You need to preserve that wood in a way at that stage before it goes past its sort of resilience era, sort of life. So oak, being that it's long lived, soaks up oil really well. So it doesn't look always as that attractive when you resin stabilize it, because in the huge grain, sometimes you look in and you can see the plastic, and it just doesn't look right. So these, as oak, take a great treatment with oil. And being that it's oak, light colour wood, I get good contrast with a laser. So I've got 3 Spartan helmets and Wessex blades on those now. And on the larger one, I did a sort of hexagonal beehive inspired design just through the centre there, like that. Just add a bit of a theme. Oh, love it. So simple, and yet more than enough. So this has been in, I think this one's boiled linseed, which sort of got sort of resins in it. I don't do raw linseed, it ends up all gummy. So this will protect the oak and give it a nice character with a bit more richness to its colour, and you get all the beauty of the wood without, as I say, sometimes the unpleasant look of resin within the big grain. So I just leave the tape on because it just gives me something more to hang on to. I've folded the tape over the top of the blades. Normally the blade handles come up to about here on a jar, so I can grab the blade stuck up like this, but these are so twee. I just leave the tape with a little tab, just something extra to grab onto. So cute. When you think the contrast between oak as oak and oak with an oiled finish, it goes all honey coloured. See the ideas I come up with. Wessex Blades. You never right, I tell you, Ian. Right, let's get this one again. There he is. He's even got the grain going. Wessex. Gets excited about the simplest things. Yeah. Things in life are reliable. Things in life you can depend on. You'd be surprised what in life you can't depend on. Current status, month as it were. Yeah, I've had a right month. That which you think you can rely on doesn't always happen. So, I put my trust in mates, colleagues, close family relatives, steel and wood. Nice. And the point of all of this was I had a Leuku order and it had a skeletal Kellen in the front, of which is, that's that, and he had, yeah, it's this one. He had a bit of a stony finish, and then whilst the tumbler, as again, whilst I'm on the laser, I'm doing other stuff, whilst I'm on it, whilst everything else is going on in the garage, I had the tumbler running. So I had an order for a West key, so I've done a batch of those, and I'll get on with that in the next day or two. And I've also done a fellow, I've got them with a stone wash. Now that comes from years of, let it drop. Two faces of Wessex. That's enough for your nightmares, eh? Nice. So, beautiful. So, cracking on with clearing my desk off, letting them cure up. Moving on with tape that's got oil in it, and that could be a mess. And then cracking on with leatherwork. Thanks to everybody who's supported me buying the laser launch. I got this one going to Ralph. I think he's Florida. So thanks for your payment, Ralph. That'll be on its way very, very soon. I shall chuck in all them Weskies. Alright. Just as a package. It's all really keep it together. Other than that, did you see Celtic knot? Look how sharp that is. So when it comes to the transit time and the burn time, I pretty much nailed that. So I can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things on emblems that I'll have to cut, because unfortunately it's an engraver, not a cutter. So remember them? Remember my medallions? So I can plot out the circle. What I'd like to be able to do is invest in a circular chisel, hit punch, or arbor press round cutter. It's those sort of small bits and bobs that is funded by Patreon. So if anybody is interested on supporting the channel and things moving forward, much appreciated if you could consider that. But just to move forward, round cutter, and I cut it out, and then in the laser cutter I'll have the circle cut out of that side, and I'll just put it in the same point every time, and once the thing's zeroed in I just can keep putting them in. Plans, registration plate as it were, and then I could poodle those out. I still got one left from years ago where I did these, so I suppose that's 25, 28 mil or something across, so a 30 mil round arbor press thingy that cuts leather. That'll be my next sort of moving forward point. So thanks for joining me again. Thanks ever so much to Patreon, because without their help, the thing like I've just got myself a microphone as well, and then the laser thing, things like that, small little steps forward. It basically is all down to them. So thanks for joining me again. Scott from Wessex Blades. Just done some, pour out the oil. Nice. Wessex Blades. Nice with oak. Thanks for joining me again.